Okay, next we're going to talk about the rawhide that we would put on top. Commonly you can find small pieces of rawhide in the same places you'd find leather scrap. They may not sell them to you quite this small. I haven't found them quite this small. I find them myself in rolls, and they run about $25, $30. And it's goat rawhide is what I want to recommend you work with. Cow is a little too thick, and when it draws in, it can crush the tube. It doesn't make quite as nice of a sound, in my opinion, as the goat. The goat just has a nicer, that's what this is, and it has a nicer vibration to it, sound to it. If they sell them in small sheets, which some places will do, then you can get them for maybe $5 or so. But again, if you're going to do this for multiple people, or if you're looking at doing this as presents, because again, these make great crafts, great gifts, get a roll. You can get multiple pieces out of one roll. This has already been partially used. I've got a couple of them out of this, and as you can see, there's still a ways to go. And this runs again about, probably gets around $27 is what this ran. So you're welcome to inquire on my website. If you're not able to find anything, I can find it for you. The next thing you want to do is you want to cut from the rawhide some lace, some rawhide lace. Now lace is about 1/4 inch wide, and you probably only need about 2 pieces that are roughly 18 inches long. I got a big bunch of it here, but you only need about 18 inches long each. For the tip of your tom-tom, or your beater, you're going to want some cushy substance in there. I actually use wool that I use on with other products that I sell and that we make. Lint from your dryer actually works wonderfully. So get yourself a handful of that. That runs pretty much next to nothing. Alright, the last item that we're going to go over for now is some leather. Now there's different kinds, as we talked about before. I have what's called oily chap leather, or oily leather, oily sides, used, and think of chap leather as in what the cowboys would wear, chaps, riding horses, also used to make aprons for those working blacksmiths. I mean, that would protect them from all those red hot sparks that are coming off the metal as they're beating on it. This is all cow leather that I have here. Here's a scrap of sheep leather, Peruvial sheep. And what I'm going to do with the leather, and I'm actually going to use the sheep, so any of these will work. You can use cow, suede, oily, any of it will work just fine. But I'm going to use sheep. I'm going to take a piece of sheep just because I want to try to keep my drum. You know, the drum boy was supposed to be from the area of Bethlehem, and in that area, sheep and goats were, I would think, more readily available. Got cow, I'm sure, yak were around, but or oxen, but I'm going to stick with the sheep. And we're going to take the sheep, we're going to cut it to the dimensions of the drum and wrap the drum with the sheep. What I'm going to do to start with to get a measurement is I'm going to take some of my string. I'm going to wrap the string around the drum, okay, until I get a circumference. That's all the way around. I got a circumference. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to take it, lay it down, use my, actually I have a tape measure here, probably a little easier than the ruler right now. I'm going to cheat. Your ruler would work fine, as you know. And let's leave that there. And although you can't see this, my tape measure is giving me a length of 26 inches. So my circumference is 26 inches. Now, the thicker the leather, the harder it's going to stretch. It's not going to stretch as easily. Goat is just fairly thin, and it stretches fairly well. So once I glue it on, I can start pulling it and stretching it. So if my 26 inches is a little off, it's no problem of working that in. So again, you don't have to be perfect. And on the very edges, whatever you glue around the very edges, don't go too crazy. If you're off a little bit, don't worry about perfection, because once you get the rawhide on, it's going to cover any mistakes in that area also. Alright, we're marking and cutting out our leather. Again, roughly 7 inches down and 26 inches long from this, and I'll have to put the camera down. Hang on. Okay, now what we're going to do is take our leather shears and we're going to start cutting this. Again, careful not to cut your fingers. And a good pair of leather shears is sweet. It just goes through leather like butter. And I'm not worried about being right on the line there. That's all going to be covered by the rawhide. Okay, just about there. Okay. And that was the end of part 2. I look forward to seeing you at part 3.